Bum, bum. Dun, dun, dun. Making sure it all is up and running. Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like we're all good. Let me grab the chat up on my phone. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Right, let's get this. Get the chat up. Dun. Hello everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. It's boiling hot today in the UK. Probably the first day of summer that we've had, which is pretty nice. And this evening, as I said, I'm going to be finishing off painting that I've been working on for a while. This is a digital sort of attempt, and the real painting is here. I apologise for the lighting at the moment. I think it's a bit yellow, so it looks a lot more saturated than it should be on the view, but that should be all okay. And right, so this is the digital mock-up that I was working with, and I had been fighting with this painting for a while, and then kind of got to this point here, which you're sort of seeing at the moment, which is where I've left the painting at, and I was really finding it difficult to work out what I wasn't liking about it. There's something about this central area that felt a little bit too busy, just like too much visual information around the let me get my Wacom pen so you can see. Too much around this area here, and I was kind of struggling with all of this information, and it felt like it was pulling the view away from the face and what we were looking for here. Sort of things like this little moment that I was enjoying of the painting. So I really liked this little point here, wanted to work some more on this hand, and then generally this being like another point of interest. And it felt a little bit like that t-shirt was fighting too much with the composition. So I usually do a little digital mock-up before I do anything drastic to these sort of paintings. And today might be a bit of a drastic change, but I'm thinking about changing the whole t-shirt to a much darker value, and almost treating it a bit like a shadow mass, in a sense. So cutting out all of that visual information by kind of almost flattening it as a shape. I think what this does, it gives a lot more breathing room to a lot of the other parts of the painting. So that's what we're going to tackle today. Whether or not we'll be successful, we'll see, but that's the plan. The plan is to sort of deal with that t-shirt area first, and then work a little bit more on sort of the key areas of the painting that I think are the areas of visual interest that won't stand out, and then sort of move more closer towards a finish on this sort of stage, which will be the traditional side. So if I jump over, I've got my painting set up, which I'm very excited about. Bring you down so you can actually see the whole painting as we're going along. You can see I've got my palette all set up as well, which is going to be using a Zorn palette, which if you guys have been following I've been trying to do a bit more painting this year, and part of that is by joining Nicholas Urube's Patreon. He has like a Patreon where he puts up videos and lessons about painting, and one of them is sort of working with a really basic palette. So that's what this one is, and this whole painting is being done with that palette. So it's 4 colors: titanium white, yellow ochre is your yellow, cad red is your sort of high chroma red, and then ivory black as the blue. So it is the primary, if you think about it as a primary. I don't usually use much ivory black. I don't super like it as a paint. I sort of tend to use like ultramarine blue with raw umber or some transparent oxide red to get like a dark black one that's got a bit more like color variation. I find that this one kind of gets a bit flat sometimes, but we're working with it. I'm gonna give it a go regardless and see how we get on. So one thing I think I wanted to do was not go straight with a complete flat value straight away, so not to go completely to this black first. So maybe wanted to bring it just a touch greener in value. And this is the brave bit, but I think we have to risk it. I think yeah, we're gonna have to risk this one for the sake of the painting. Make sure that's actually done up there tightly. I can bring you in a bit closer in on what I'm actually doing. Hopefully. Let me know if all of like the audio and stuff is okay. I'm sort of trying out this bit newer setup for the streams, but hopefully if this goes well I can do a bit more on the painting side, because I could have tended to like doing it. For those of you that don't know, during the day I'm a comic book artist, and I'm currently working on a comic book right now called Fruit, which I've been working on for about the past year, and it's just about to be released towards the end of the summer, so it's sort of nice to take these opportunities in the evenings to paint. And the character that this painting is Cherry, who's the main character from that comic book. So I think we are just committing now. I think. Normally I always find that when I'm painting I tend to go a bit quieter, but yeah, part of the reason why I felt like this needed it was I did enjoy this painting. I thought it was going into a good place. I think there is a world where that t-shirt has a lot of the focus of the painting and is done really nicely, but I don't think that this painting is necessarily that. So trying to sort of push for what I wanted this painting to be, which is kind of more focusing on some of the quieter areas of the painting, mainly the skin, which I think was quite a success. and then things like the hands and a bit more of the subtler sections. But yeah, originally the white t-shirt was kind of based on what the character in the comic was first seen wearing. But you know, people can change and we can work with different stuff, so he says that you can't have a black t-shirt on the front cover. I think. So I'm trying a bit of yellow umber in there just to try and get maybe a little bit of hue variation, just a tiny amount, so that it kind of doesn't just become one massive consolidated mass. So focus on this little section here. Don't ruin all my good work on the hands. Right. So I think, as you can see, it now makes this area stand out a little bit more, and things like this highlight here, just because it kills a lot of that visual detail. I reckon. It's already starting to seem a bit more flatter. I just want a little bit of a hue variation down to this section here. Probably won't be at all distinguishable on the camera, but just a little bit of a darker value, kind of to suggest a bit of directional lighting. Just a hint of form turning. Nothing too crazy. Just going in with that pure black along the bottom there. Not have that tangent. Bit more of that darker value right in the centre. Down arms just to suggest a bit of that turn. Just going to overpaint so that I can cut a little bit back in at a later point. Kind of want to make that space a bit bigger as well. So kind of still want to lose this edge a little bit. So I'm just gonna see how I can do this. These arms are feeling a bit wide as well. Trying to get this bit of glare on. Need to work on my setup a little bit so I can get rid of some of that background glare. Right, trying to just push this value back a little bit. I did feel like this arm and shoulder was a little wide. It's going to be a bit of a push and pull on that one. It gets to somewhere that I want it to be. There's a lot of texture going on up here as well, so I don't want to push that to flatten the whole thing out. So, we need to tackle. Oh yeah. So tough little section. Just trying to work out where that waist is going to be. It needs to be a bit more obvious when it's a darker silhouette, I think. Just a little bit. There you a bit heavy-handed. This was annoying me for ages. Just felt a little bit too wide. This whole shoulder, I think, seemed, just compared to the other one, find where this is going. Go back in with this one, the darks again. Try and find this area. It's definitely not easy. It's definitely highlighting some little bit of inaccuracies in that drawing. Trying to find where these shoulders are actually gonna be. Trying to even this neck section out, but seems like it's pretty close. It's not unfathomably far away. It's not really in the right place. Nor is that. Let's push that one back a little bit. Okay. Better. No. Let's try and turn that a bit more. In there. I think it's close. It's not perfect. It's kind of hard to not see it from looking at a bit of a weird angle. Lose the sharpness of this edge. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I think. Okay. Tough. Just gonna fight it back, see if I can find it with a bit of push and pull on that. Love how high that shoulder looks. Like it would roll. Match this, and then in, and get a sort of t-shirty feel. Okay. So I think it looks a bit better. Definitely feels a bit more coherent. Need to find a little bit. This area here is really annoying me right now. It's not feeling kind of open where I'd want it to be. I think a little bit's down for that shape. I think this is actually needs to be way higher. So how high this goes up. I feel like this is not accurate whatsoever. Actually needs to kind of come more. Something like this. Does it come that way? Then. Tell you what, it's not an easy task. I knew this painting section was going to be really complicated, but it's kind of the fun of it, right? It's just like a big puzzle that you have to work through and work out. Still feel like this needs to maybe be a bit flatter. Still a bit kind of ghosty. What I feel happens quite a lot with this arbitrary black is you use it, and as soon as it gets in the mix, it just goes a sort of ghosty colour. Doesn't really hold up very well. Okay. Still struggling with these shoulders a little bit. Yeah. Trying to work out. It's this arm that's really preying me. Or consult my oracle text. Try and work out how James made that look, and then I'll come back and way tighter. Ooh, brutal. It's my drawing that's actually really bad. Even there. Tough, tough, tough. So I think the whole shape of this is just a bit awkward. It's really not. It's feeling a bit nicer now. It's kind of closing. This one really needs to take a step in as well. Oh, brutal. Big changes. Trying to find that shoulder again from the one. Really went much wider. It's looking very off. Kilter on that one. It's not quite so much of a V. It's going to be difficult one. I think this arm is looking still too wide. It starts little bicep comes under into this. And this tangent needs to go. I've just put a huge tangent there, and that's going to be very good. Doing all right. Still battling with these shoulders quite a lot. Can't really find the right place for them. think it's alright. Probably needs to go a lot darker in that right left shoulder. This one needs to be a little bit more developed in some way. I do like where it's going. A bit of a fight for it though. Definitely. A little accent of the t-shirt. Too sure about this neckline as well. Seems okay. And here. Seems a bit better. Right. It's always really hard to get the same hue when you're mixing that background colour. There's so many variations of it floating around. It's getting there, I think. Still finding this edge a bit harsh. Still. Sure, if I flip this over, it's going to really obviously show me what's wrong. That's looks better. I think one of these things where you just make more problems than you did, but maybe there were problems you didn't know that you had with the painting. This. I think there's a lot of structural stuff that I need to solve here. So I think it's a bit better. It's nowhere near as tight, but definitely. Feeling better. Right. Cool. Thank you everyone for joining. I will try and do some more work on this, but hopefully we'll pop back and do some more painting in the future. But yeah, thanks for joining in, and I'll see you guys next time.